Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the North East Non-League Show, sponsored by DJ Private Hire, Gateway Accountancy Services Limited, Elite Goalkeeper Academy, Motivate, Danny Lay Plumbing and Heating, and now the Football Pink. Tonight is our episode 95, which is our Farringdon Detached special with the guest, the gaffer, Kyle Robinson. Kyle, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Nice to be here.
Yeah, and like I said before the show, it's nice to get teams on from the Wearside League. We're just trying to push as many non-league clubs as we can, and talking about the Wearside League as well, which will be really interesting to go through as well. But starting with yourself, Kyle, the guest. So tell us, how did it all start, helping and managing a Farringdon? How long have you been there?
Well, I started about 4 or 5 weeks before the season started. I was coming in to be two for Chris, who went to Richmond, and then obviously he took the Richmond job a couple of days later. I spoke with Ian and a couple of people from the club, and yeah, we just decided to crack on. I'd already made roads and bringing a couple of players in. And we just said, look, we'll just continue with you. We'll just go as it means to go, rather than trying to start again now with obviously the limited time that we had available. So it's just been all hands on deck since then, really. And obviously, we've gone through a full swipe of change since then. We've had to bring in volunteers. You know, the club was very much run by the old manager and Ian. Obviously, done a cracking job over the years to get where they've done in a short space of time. Fantastic. But to try and grow the club and move it on forward, we want to try and expand it a little bit, bring a little coaching team in, look to bring in volunteers, start opening things like shops on like a tuck shop on the day of the game and things like that. So it's just that's all we've done really since then. It's been kind of been non-stop on and off the pitch, to be honest.
So I say 4 weeks to get, like we've just been chatting there before the show, 4 weeks to get your squad and shit before the season starts. It was non-stop for yourself. Yeah,
it was. We had a few lads from last season who had injuries and stuff like that. Then obviously a couple have left, a couple have gone up, a couple have gone on with the old manager and things like that. So yeah, it was a lot of change in a short space of time, to be honest. But we're doing all right.
Looking at the season so far as well, I mean, just when it's sitting below mid-table after 10 games, but overall, what's your thoughts on the season so far? I know it's been very busy for all sides, playing a couple of midweekers and then weekends, but it's just starting to settle down a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think Wednesday just gone. Yesterday was like our last midweek for at least a couple of weeks, I think. So that'll help us massively. Just trying to settle the squad now and, get the same faces out regularly. It's took a bit of time, just bedding through, bringing new faces through. But I mean, we wanted to try and be, I think, reflection on results so far, we've probably won the games we should have won. There's been a couple of games that were closer than what they suggested on scorelines and things like that. I won't go into them too much, but I think we're about right for where we are at the moment. I think our performances have been quite good, even though the scorelines haven't reflected that. A couple of managers have been, have give us quite a bit of compliment and stuff like that about the way we've played. Quite positive, obviously not playing quite an attacking style of football. And it's been to our detriment a few times already this season. And early on, we were making a few mistakes at the back, and it was costing us a lot of goals. But to build that brand of football, you've kind of got to expect it. There's going to be teething problems. It's not a short-term solution style of football. It's going to be something that takes a bit of time.
Yeah, and I think as well, we're chatting to the lads last night from Farringdon. I think with the matches after match after match, and it's nice now to try and get the training sessions in there and working on things, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't trained since pre-season. With 2 games a week, lads playing Sundays and some Sunday leagues playing the odd midweek as well. Like we just can't. Like we'll end up with more injuries than what it's worth training for. So yeah, it's difficult.
Definitely. Well, I mean, just looking at the Wearside League as well. I mean, that Premier League, some cracking teams in there. I mean, can you feel it getting more competitive as the seasons go on now?
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, if you look at the start already, I think everyone's kind of getting points off everyone. Like there's no one that's really kind of nailed down and gone on a good unbeaten streak and kind of pulled away yet. I know there's a couple of teams that haven't really got going yet with a good run of fixtures in the league, but they're the standard's really strong throughout. Like, there's not really, I wouldn't say I've seen a bad side yet. There's not a side where you're guaranteed 3 points or anything like that. It seems the standard's quite good throughout. Yeah, I mean it's a really good standard. And like I said before, the division kind of seems right for the taking at the moment. I think there's probably a good handful of teams who could have a really good go at it this season, where over years gone by, maybe it's been 2 or 3 teams that have kind of been the strongest and kind of led the pack. But where this year you can see there's probably 6 or 7 teams who could have a real good go at the title this year, to be fair. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
and
standards.
on the pitch as well, isn't it? But also off. I mean, I love obviously the social media side of things, and you're seeing the teams now, the effort that they put into the Facebook pages and Twitter and so on, scores, and the goal scorer pops up and stuff like that. And everyone's just trying to push the league as much as they can. I know we've just been chatting about the football pink, getting the scores back out there. I know we put in the league table every month and try and share as many scores as we can. And we're always asking the people from the clubs to please keep sharing their scores in the group, and it's just making the league more bigger and more people taking interest in it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. And again, social media, that's something else we've had to look at. It wasn't something we had a big presence on. It's been hard to fight on all platforms, but our Facebook page has grew massively thanks to a volunteer. He's done a lot of work, just making sure our posts are regular, making sure we share a lot of contact from our sponsors and things like that. I think we've grew nearly 1,000 followers or something since we took over. So I mean, it's not even been three or 4 months yet, and to have that growth it really helps us a lot. I think we've got 2 or 3 sponsors just through Facebook, so you know the social media presence is massive, and like you say, it does get people involved, and it does get the local scene of people interested in your results and things. But also just from a business point of view, it just helps you so much more when you can go to sponsors and say, look at the amount of views we're getting and things like that. It helps so much more.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, as double figures watching now, please get across to the social media place of Farringdon. Please like, please follow. It just helps the club so much, and just takes 1 or 2 people to see the post, and hopefully, like you say, sponsorship deals and more people turn up the games would be fantastic as well. And please hit that subscribe button while you're on as well. But I mean, looking back at the first game of the season as well, and we know we touch on the teams that drop out of the Northern League, and the first game of the season, a 5-3 win against Brandon, and it's a club with massive history in the Northern League, obviously winning titles up there. And for Farringdon to go and beat them on the first game of the season, that must have been really special.
Yeah, it was. It's something that I'll probably remember for a long time, to be fair. I mean, we made hard work of it. We did give them 3 goals, to be fair. But like I said at the beginning, we had teething problems massively at the beginning, making like literally individual mistakes that would lead to goals. But yeah, massive club, massive history. Been there and done it all, like literally all the way up the pyramid in the Northern League scene. So to go out there for first game, it was like big club, a lot of expectation. You get people who kind of expect you to win a game as well, and you also get a lot of people who obviously just expect you just to get beat. So it's like a very 50-50 split on that, and just to go in and just handle it, and you know, to come out with a good win as well. Score 5 goals first game of the season. I mean, it's not good conceding 3, but you know, we want to protect, we want to show value for money. We want people to come to our games, see goals, see good football, and we started a good brand of that on the day. It was a big win for the club, good start. First management job for me, you know, in the Wearside Premier League. To go and get a win against a big club was special. It was a really good moment. It was one that'll definitely be a highlight for this. Had one of the highlights of the season for me individually. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. I mean, you see some of the teams coming down now. In the past, I mean, come down, sorry, and gone straight back up. You normally see now the teams that are coming down, it's almost a double relegation, like you say, the likes of Brandon, Willerton. You just got to be really Durham City. You've got to be really careful now. Northern League, it's a tough league to get back out of the Wearside.
And I think that's why kind of people maybe expected like that first game us to just beat them, because they'd seen teams come down and tumble. I think people thought the same, when it's not always the truth. You know, people. There's always outliers to situations and things like that. But they were a good set of lads. They were a really good side. They were well organised. They played all right. They've got a lot of promise there. They've got a lot of really good young lads. But yeah, like I said, the big clubs coming down. I mean, Willerton, Durham, even Brandon, far too big for this level of football. You know, I mean, we played Willerton the other week, and a Friday night, I think there was over like 250 people came to watch. That's not the numbers we see in Div 1 of Wearside, is it? You know, it's insane. And you know, it's good to see them get on the right track and stuff, but that shows the level of this standard now. Like, there's teams and clubs of that size that we have to compete with. Yeah, you know, it's not just amateur football, so to speak. There's big clubs there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about competing with them, I know we spoke with John as we were setting the show up, and I know he spoke about clubs obviously paying players and stuff, and it's mad how many gets dropping down the leagues now. Even the Wearside League players getting paid, but it must be hard for yourself to attract the players, and obviously if players are doing well for yourself, to keep all them players when people are probably waving a 5 or waving a 10 or 20 pounds someone's face. You sometimes just kind of turn it down. It must be hard for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we fell victim to it already this season. It's part of football, isn't it? It's not something that's going to go away overnight. It's probably something that'll get worse before it gets better. But I mean, it's part of football, and the division, I think, is quite split 50-50. It's not like a case of every team pays but us. You know, there's a lot of teams who don't pay, but there's a couple that do. So I mean, it does help. Obviously, if you can offer money, it's easier to pull players in it, especially attract people at face value at the start. but it doesn't mean you're going to retain them. If they're not enjoying themselves or, you know, they don't think it's the right fit for them, they won't stay anyway, regardless of a couple of quid. So it definitely hinders us, but it's not something that we can use it as an excuse because we're not alone in that situation. I think, if anything, I think it's more the catchment area when you look at the amount of teams in the area, kind of all similar-ish sort of level, fighting over the same player pool. And I think that's probably more of a hindrance to our recruitment for the local area than probably the fact that we can't pay, to be honest. We've brought lads in from all over. I mean, I'm from Newton Aycliffe. There's a couple of lads come up here from my way. We've recruited a couple of lads from Middlesbrough who I've just seen on a Sunday. They've come over, been fantastic players so far. So I kind of just thought, well, if instead of fighting over people in the same area, we're going to have to widen our scope and we're going to have to look elsewhere. And that's what we've done so far. So we'll continue to do that. But hopefully, if we get some more sponsors and things like that, you know, we may be able to have a little budget one day, or even if it's just rewarding lads with an odd goal bonus or clean sheets or a little bit of petrol money here and there. I mean, I know Ian, who runs the club, does a fantastic job, and he's got a mini bus and he puts it on for like Winsgale away. We had the mini bus on and stuff like that. I mean, it's something quite trivial, but it helps massively when you're going, especially games like Winsgale. You know, it's when you've got a mini bus that can seat 10, 11 players. It's a good start. So, but yeah, I mean, like I say, it's not a massive issue. It's more of a minor one, to be fair. But it's something we want to change. It's something we want to pay. We want to be able to pay. I mean, doesn't everyone? That's the aim, isn't it? So yeah, it's something we'll focus on, but it's not something that we're going to kind of use as an excuse because, you know, like I said, we're not alone.
Exactly. And just want to say as well, still loads of people watching, just as we have a little break, just please get across the social media. We're doing these shows at the moment, these club pushes where we're getting teams on and managers and chairmen to help them as well. So please get across to the Facebook page, to Twitter, like you say, like and follow. It's massive for the club. So if you're watching now, please get across. It takes 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Get across and hit that like and follow as well. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button as we help the channel grow as well. But Kyle, back to yourself, and obviously just a young manager in the league. I mean, how are you finding it so far?
I've enjoyed it. I mean, it hasn't come without its issues. It's been hard. It's not been easy. It's a big standard increase from I've done Sundays and for most of my career, and a little bit of academy football here and there, Darlington and things like that. So it's been a big change. I think I appreciate. I was obviously with Durham for a little bit, along with Wayne, and I think it did help a lot. I think it just seeing the difference between a Saturday and a Sunday. I didn't when I went to Durham, I didn't expect the difference to be so large. Just the atmosphere of it, and you know the standard people hold themselves to because of it, and you know it's been a big change, but it's also something that I felt like I was ready for. But to go and do it is a different thing. You know, I've said to some of the lads recently over results, it's okay saying we're going to be good and saying we're going to improve, but you've got to actually do it, and that's the same for me. You know, it's okay me saying I think I'm ready for this level, but I've got to be able to go and prove it. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's been really good, really good.
Yeah. And I think it's away from the pitch as well. I don't think people realise after that game on a Saturday, your phone, the WhatsApp groups, like, why am I not playing for? There's a player wanting to come in, sort and train now. It is literally a 24/7 job, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, the wife's generally sick of me. She's like, "Are you on that phone again?" I'm like, "Please just leave it. I'm not in the mood." It's been a tough one. I still have a hand in with the Sunday team the best I can. A couple of lads have kind of took that away from me a little bit to try and ease it on me because, you know, playing 2 games a week. At the moment, we've played 2 games every week since the start of the season, so there's been no rest. It's literally like game finished, availability on for the next one. Kits washed and dried, sorted out. You know, it's not been the easiest of rides to come straight in and just go hell for leather. But to be honest, I don't think I'd change it. Like I think I've been that busy with it. It's just I haven't had time to kind of sit and think about it much. It's just been right on to the next one, which with some of our results hasn't been a bad thing. Just to focus on the next one straight away.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at the league tables as well. I mean, you've got some of the teams that's up there, South Moor, Silksworth, Easington Lane, down Corinthians as well. I mean, can you see when you play against some teams that it is all in the same league, but you can see that some got that extra bit quality, like you say, if they're possibly playing, but obviously the quality of the squad that they have there as well. Can you see the difference in the league sometimes?
I mean, to be honest, totally. I mean, we've only played a handful of teams once so far, and I think the standard's been pretty solid throughout. I mean, most teams that we've played so far set up the same way, kind of played the same style of footballish, but I think what's sometimes shows more is some of the teams are just a little bit more clinical. I mean, Norton last night had 6 shots last night and they've buried 5. I think I'll be honest and say that we've easily had about 12, 15 chances and got 1. That's the fine margins of this level. If you don't get it right and you don't take the opportunities, you don't have that extra bit of quality. That's when you struggle. And I think that's more the difference I've seen. Just teams that'll have 2 or 3 players have just got that extra bit of quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when it comes to like dead balls and like if finishing and things like that. Just there's been a few teams where I've thought, you can see why they'll win games. They've got him, and him who've, they're going to do. They're like really strong players, and but probably played at the level for a long time. I think that's one thing we kind of like. We don't have a lot of lads who've played at this level for a long time. We've got a lot of young lads, some really good young talent as well. Our pool size for young talent is really, really good. I'm really, really happy that we've got easy probably 12 to 15 lads who are under the age of 20, 21 who are going to be really, really good players. They're playing at this level now already. Give them a year or 2 of experience, but we should be a good side. Hopefully that's the plan. But we'll see how it goes.
You mentioned as well the player pool, and I always ask, we've had a few people on from different sides in the Sunderland area, RCA, West End, and teams like that. And we always kind of say, you look at these sides and just mention there, Red Star, RCA, West End, Silty, Farrer. It's a massive area, but then you kind of look at Newcastle and below, obviously the professional side. You've got the likes of Heaven Dunstan through that way. You go to Borough, you've got Stockton now pushing up the leagues, and you kind of look at Sunderland. There's never been that, apart from obviously the Sunderland in the Championship. There's not another kind of team that's really pushed on to say, right, we're going to climb the pyramid. Yeah. For the area that it is, Sunderland, it's strange to see, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it could just be pure saturation. There's that many different teams, all of a similar level, that you just have them spread out, all the better quality players spread out across so many teams. I mean, if you took a squad amongst all the best sides there in the area, you probably have a really good side, who could fight to go a lot higher up. But yeah, it's probably that. I mean, West End have got off to a good start. Obviously, you've got ties there. You'll understand that they've got off to a good start. Seeing they've got some really good results so far, and they probably seem to be one that could push on a little bit at the minute. But I think in terms of the division below, I mean, I know I'm yet to experience the rivalry, but between Silky and Farrer. But if we can copy what they've done last year, I mean, they had a rebuild last year, back end of last season, really kicked on, big run of wins and really good results, and then got off to a flyer this year. I mean, there's something we're trying to replicate ourselves. I mean, it's going to be rough at the start. We've got a lot of new players, new style of player. No one's really played together before. There's players from all over the place, and it takes a bit of time. And hopefully, come Christmas, come the New Year, we can maybe do what they did last year and kick on a little bit and have a strong finish and look to push on in the future. But yeah, I think you'll see a team that'll pull away maybe at some point from the Sunderland area. But I think it all comes down to certain things, doesn't it? Like things like money and if one team gets a couple of big sponsors in and they get a good manager in who can attract the better players and pull players from different areas, then you'll see that push forward.
Yeah, you see it pushing on the league as well. I know you've got a couple of cup games coming up very shortly as well. And I think in this league, I know we had, it was a while back now, but Martin Swales came on and he was talking about his time at Ripe in the Weeside League and some of the cups that he played in, obviously the ship owners, the Mont Weymouth, and he said that obviously in the Northern League you've got the bars and stuff where people are talking about it all the time, but some of the cups in the Weeside, there's a lot of players go out there and they're proud to go and play in these tournaments and win these cups. That they're massive in the area, aren't they, really?
Yeah, and I think the cups are a good time for people kind of to forget what's going on. I mean, you can take it one game at a time, and especially with the way the division's been this year in the Premier League, I think everyone's shown that they could probably beat each other on any given day. So that gives you a chance to go, right, well, we've had a bad run in the league so far, but we'll give it all on Saturday or whatever in the cup and just have a good go at the cup, and we'll see how it goes. Like we say, we rotated last Friday in the cup against Willerton. We had a full squad rotation for the game, bar 1 or 2 players who filled in later on. But I think this cup comes Saturday, we'll be a bit more competitive. The Frank Hudson was one we probably weren't going to win. We were never going to win, so it was a good time to experiment a little bit and give lads a run out. So, but yeah, it just gives lads just the chance to focus on something different. I think it gives you that break away from league game. It's like, right, this cup game, win this, we go on the next round, win that one, who knows where you end up, sort of thing. So yeah, it's a good break. It gives us a good chance to try and do something a bit different.
Yeah, and I think the quality as well. I know obviously you've got the Wilton there. You said over nearly 250 the other night. And you've got teams that's now coming down and playing these little stadiums, and Belmont United a bit further down now playing at Farringdon Park, and it's getting a lot better, the league, isn't it? And like you say, with all the social media side of things, and I think now it's obviously, I mean, just a day I know ball in the Northern League, but players signing for Bolton and it's getting shared in the groups and stuff, and it must be nice for them players to go, oh, hold on, I'm getting a mention here, and obviously if people are sharing things from the Wayside League in the group, and it's just that little bit buzz for the players, for the managers to see them doing well and getting the recognition in the groups and stuff like that. It just gets the name out there a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, it's massive because people play football and they enjoy it, but everyone likes a little bit extra, don't they? They like the fact that they get the pictures on Facebook and stuff like that. It's the little bit of extras, isn't it, that make it a bit better for people.
No, really, really good. Well, we've got to say before we go, Carl, I know there'll be people that's going to watch and we're going to be sharing this out for you again as well, but the people that's around the area, that's kind of, well, I know there's a football team there, I haven't been down. What would your message be to the local people?
Just come give us a go. Just come and have a watch. Come along. Like I've said, we trying to play an attacking style of football. Guaranteed to see goals at our games. that's been pretty obvious so far this season. You know, we're going to try and entertain, and I've said to the lads, like, you know, if we entertain and we score goals and there's, you know, we have competitive games, people will come back. You know, if it's a boring game and the ball just goes side to side like a game of tennis, then people don't. You know, people have got to pay money, and whether it's £3, £4, £5, £10, you want value for money. And if you know, and I think if you can go to a game and think, you know what, that was quite a good game, that there's played some good stuff and there was goals and I enjoyed it, sort of thing, then they'll come back. And that's all we're trying to do. Just trying to entertain people at the end of the day. It's, you know, I don't want it to be boring for the players. I don't want it to be boring for people who watch us. And that's where we're going to go. And come along, you'll see that. I mean, you'll see the scorecards so far. You think we're really, really struggling on some games, but you know, if you speak to a lot of clubs around the league, they'll tell you that them scorelines don't always tell the truth of how the game panned out. And I'm not saying we should have won them games or anything like that, but we competed in them and we had chances ourselves and we played some good stuff, and that's what we're going to try and do. So if you want to come along, you'll be more than welcome. It's a family-run club. You know, it's not a big committee or anything like that. It's very tightly knit ran. You know, you'd be welcomed in, and you know, we'd love to get people in to watch. It's good for the lads. It's good for us as management to see, you know, a sideline full of people. It's what we're there for.
Oh, brilliant. But Kyle, thank you very much for coming on. Like you say, we wish you yourself and Farah the very best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. And again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. As we always said, please get across. Like we say, these club push shows, just want to help clubs out there, getting the bit of word out, and obviously trying to get as many people across their social media pages. So please get across after the show and get that like and get that follow on the pages as well. But again, thank you everyone very much for watching. Back again next week. We've got Crook on Saturday for the FA Cup tie for a video vlog there. And we're back next Wednesday, I think there's with Peter Snowden, the live Spartans legend, coming on to chat about his career in the game as well. So keep an eye out for that. But again, thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night as well.